All right, all right, all right. We are live. Welcome one, welcome all, brother, to the Wrestling Council, brought to you each and every week by our good friends at the Outright Geekery Podcast Network. You can check them out at outrightgeekery.com. I missed you guys. We're back. Let's go around the circle. Welcome from the SMB Network, my dear friend, with the Chris Hero shirt on. Mr.
I need a hero. I need a hero. Dude, I'm so excited. I've never been so excited for somebody to get fired as I was Chris Hero. And maybe that makes me a jerk, but I think he's excited. We'll go around the table and introduce everybody, but you got to let me talk about all this goodness that I watched this week. But we can go around the table first, and I can get into all that good stuff.
All right. Well, down under, Mr. Boogie is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Comic Book Bob. How are you, Comic Book Bob?
I'm doing good, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Especially that little comic book thing that me and Boogie got to look at, man. It's awesome.
It's show and tell. It's show and tell tonight.
Yes,
hardcover. Okay, I got the soft cover.
Nice, good quality.
Okay. Well, Comic Book Bob, we're gonna shift it over to your left. They're moving on your left, as Falcon would say. Mr. Yule Carter, Big Blue Yule. How are you, sir?
I am wonderful. Ready to talk some wrestling. Let's get it on.
All right.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Okay. Well, if we're gonna talk wrestling, let's start at this Friday.
Let me do my show and tell first.
Okay,
it ain't gonna make sense later. It ain't gonna. Make sense
well,
later.
let's do your show and tell.
Okay, so Ring of Honor had a sale: buy one get two free. That's insane. Buy one get two free. I will say though, I went back to their website. They have so many compilations that are gone, and I don't know why. Because for a long time, like within the last year, you could get Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, all that good stuff was on there, and now it's gone. But I picked up this one, The Villain, 2 discs. All of them are 2 discs. Great matches. Probably, he had some good matches with Will Ospreay. Just so much good stuff from the time that Marty debuted in Ring of Honor. Marty Scurll, The Villain. And then this one, dude. And watching this pretty much confirmed, Cody may be my favorite guy right now. He is so talented. And Cody versus Jay Lethal, his first match, absolutely amazing. There's some fun stuff. Bullet Club versus SCU and Flip Gordon with Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell teaming up with the Bullet Club. Just Cody's so good. So good. But watching that made me want to go back and watch some old stuff. I showed you guys this. I was watching some old Briscoe matches, probably my favorite that I watched. And I posted the clip out. I don't know if you guys saw it, where one of the Briscoes jumped from the balcony and put Kevin Steen through a table.
God, that was awesome.
Absolutely insane. One thing I will say about these old Ring of Honor shows, though, their matches went way too long.
They were long.
Way too long.
If you like 45 minutes, go for it.
It's like 20 minutes of great chain wrestling and then like 20 minutes of brawling. I'm trying to get caught up on PWG, bask in his glory, good stuff. And then lastly, I need a hero. So I went back and watched some old school Chris Hero. I'm so excited.
That's good.
I'm so excited about him getting. Did you guys see the video he put out where he basically put out a picture of his boots in the middle of the ring and they just said Cassius. Yeah. And so people are speculating, is he retiring? Is he going back to the Indies? What's happening? 24 hours later, you get a video, and it opens with his Cassius Ohno music, and it plays out, and then it cuts. The music changes, and you see Chris Hero. Can't wait. Chris Hero is back. Hit that super chat.
Well, Phil Devereaux for $2 says, haven't watched since WCW died. What did I miss?
Pull up a chair.
Oh, man. You got men as the women's champions and women as the men's champions. You
got all dogs living together.
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely different.
There's a lot. We'll get you caught up, but slowly.
We got 31 episodes
video at a time.
Yeah,
actually, all of Ring of Honor is everything that wrestling is today. If you like, from 10 or 15 years ago. Yeah. Like everybody that was big there is now a big guy in like WWE. And if it wasn't Ring of Honor, it was CZW. We had Dean Ambrose or John Moxley.
Even Chris Hero. Chris Hero came to Ring of Honor through that CZW invasion.
Yeah,
but that's what drives me nuts when I try to get Brian Caraway. I don't see him in the chat yet, but I would always be talking to him about Ring of Honor and PWG, and I'm like, you got to watch it. It's so good. And he's like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. But then now you ask him, he's like, I love Kevin Owens. He's so great. I love Adam Cole. I'm like, I've been telling you about these guys for 5 years.
You would love Kevin Steen then.
Yeah.
You'd like Chris Hero when he was like in his
when
youth.
he could wrestle. He can still wrestle, but given the opportunity to wrestle.
Sure thing.
I'm sorry, Antonio. I hijacked your show. You can have it back.
No. Okay. Well,
Kevin Steen is good. El Generico is great. Those
Brian Danielson, dude.
Brian Danielson. Oh my God.
Austin
Tyler
Aries.
Black.
Austin Aries. Tyler Black's another good one. I'm trying to look at my shelf from here, what I've got over there. Oh, Claudio Castagnoli, obviously.
And Ring of Honor's first show had a rehabilitated Eddie Guerrero coming back into the pros again. And that was like a real cool thing at that time. So they had really good people. Nigel McGuinness.
Oh my gosh, his matches with Brian Danielson were epic. Some of the best.
But if you want a really distilled version of that, you should look at PWG. That's the way to go.
Ring of Honor was more storytelling. PWG, if you just want wrestling.
Yeah.
Usually the storytelling in PWG is around the heavyweight title, and that's it.
Yeah.
And a little bit around the tag. Yeah, a little around the tag titles, but I love PWG as much as anything, man. I love it.
Bob, no New Japan Pro Wrestling? Nothing.
Well, the thing is if you get Ring of Honor, you get a lot of Japanese stuff also. Okay. And same thing with PWG. Like Akira Tozawa, the first time I saw him was in PWG. And he's great. I like him a lot.
Dude, Cody on this DVD, Cody versus Sonata, was gold, man. It's gold. Gold. Like, oh, so good. Such good stuff. And I love the Briscoes, man. They're never going to grab a wrist lock. They're never going to do some technical wrestling, but God, they're
never going to say the right thing.
No, they are so that's why they'll never get a chance. And they're just gifted, man. They're a man's man.
They're the last team that could come in right now and do like the Dudleys did in like the late 90s.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think WWE would just be like, what is this?
They would be able to
if the WWE let them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no way. Now. Dude, they're coming out in rebel flags back in the day.
You don't have to have a rebel flag.
and I'm concerned because I saw those, on Twitter or whatever, those leaked revival costumes, apparently, that Vince had the idea.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, that looks...
I didn't see that.
Dude,
it's bad. It's cartoon, man.
Oh, God. They were going to become like a comedy wrestling... Oh my God, they look like leprechauns or something. I didn't know. It was like 2 or 3 different versions of it.
Have you seen what they're going to be on the indies?
I heard they stole the name.
The Revolt, which I saw the Revolt wrestle the Young Bucks a few years ago over in North Carolina. The Revolt, Caleb Conley and Zane Riley. Caleb Conley dating Chris Statlander. I think they live together. But dude, they're established. They are established. Caleb Conley's pretty well known. Zane Riley's great. I drove 5 hours
stuff in WWE.
Maybe some like enhancement stuff.
Yeah,
maybe.
probably.
He's built a reputation for himself. I drove 5 hours because Adam Wade Adams, my co-host on ComicCast, told me, he texted me and said that he was going to wrestle Zane Riley. And Zane is one of my like top 3 comedy wrestlers. I love the guy. And I was like, dude, I'm driving down. I'm staying at your house. I have to watch you. It's like a proud father moment. Like I was so happy for Adam to get that match. Such good stuff. Antonio, this is your show. What am I doing?
You're contributing.
I'm so excited, man. I watched so much good stuff this week, and it wasn't on TV.
Well, I'm about to say because we got to talk. Okay, so I'm starting off at the beginning at SmackDown. I was surprised by SmackDown. And we've got 2 different things because one was that Vince, USA and Fox were apparently hinting to Vince that they would maybe need to renegotiate those contracts if the live broadcast didn't resume. as opposed to these pre-taped. And then they went back and they decided, you know what, hell, everybody's doing the quarantine thing anyway. So what exactly would we be getting the same type product? It's better because they can edit out botches and shit like that. So Vince was gonna do live, and now he's back to doing the tape stuff again. So, but SmackDown, look, I think they said it was live, but I believe it was taped. Although when the New Day won the championship, they did the same match from WrestleMania, except for the three that didn't participate in it, and Big E pinned the Miz.
Yeah, had the return of Xavier Woods.
We still haven't had that yet. I mean, he was on the he was from home, but I mean, from my understanding, he's still gonna be out about another 4 or 5 months.
That's a bad injury. Wasn't it Achilles?
Yeah.
That's a nasty injury.
Yeah,
but he was actually on the he was actually on the show.
Yeah, him and what's
Kofi both. Yeah,
Kofi. Yeah, they were like, oh, that's what I'm saying. I think that shit was taped. I think it was, because they're taping the whole show. But the Mandy Rose thing with Otis, it looks like she's wincing when they have to like kiss her.
But you know what I like about that? I think Sonya Deville cut a legit promo for the first time. She can talk, man. She can talk.
Yeah.
Like she had that kind of like crying thing going, and then she was kind of serious for a moment.
When she got serious, it was good.
But then she went back into the crying. So I was a little taken. I kind of didn't buy it for a little bit because of that.
I thought they were going to make up. I actually thought they were going to make up, and she was going to reveal, because it started off. It sounded like she was going to they were going to try to do the love story angle where she was like, "Don't you know?" And then all of a sudden she was like, "You're selfish." Blah blah blah. It was like, and I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Are we about to get some?"
Because you know what? She worked you, and she did me too. I was hook, line, and sinker. I was in. I thought, okay, what are we doing here?
And that's one of the good things I think. I like when we're kind of grasping at straws, looking for good things to come out of these no crowd shows and stuff. But that is one thing, is that people who normally wouldn't probably get a chance to do this kind of thing and to get some work out here, they're showing what they're capable of.
We can talk about that when we get to AEW too.
Yeah, their level of creativity, and I think that's one positive I think we could take out of this. Like we were talking about the match between Owens and Rollins. You got them; they're figuring it out, and like they're adjusting, they're adapting, they're showing their creativity. So
something I like from SmackDown, instead of showing these old matches, they finally went away from that, and we're getting more stuff like the Jeff Hardy 24 documentary.
Yep.
And they're breaking it up into pieces. So this was part 2. Such a great story, man. Like, his story is heartbreaking. The stuff that he used to do in the Attitude Era, the stuff that he put his body through, and then the fact that he had a pain pill addiction. Well, why do you think he had that? And then the battles back from that, the DUI, like, it's a tragic story.
Yeah, but they also ignore the stuff that happened last year.
Yeah, well,
it listed 2018, I guess.
Yeah. Because WrestleMania got
he's on his way back.
Out the part about him getting arrested or something, and it's just because there was a part of it where he had his mugshot shown. I guess it was that you could still see on the WWE Network or whatever, and then it was I'm enjoying it though. I'm curious. Since Bob mentioned Xavier Woods, it is coming out that the possibility is that he's the person that's going to be the hacker.
Yeah, I did see that.
Really?
Yeah, that Xavier Woods is going to be revealed as the hacker, but
you can't do that with a PlayStation controller.
Yeah. I think that's a mistake, man. I think if they really, really want to make this into something interesting, it's got to be Ali.
I don't even know that that's interesting. Do you care about Ali?
Not really.
No, but the guy is talented. I mean, he just
if you're gonna do a big angle, like, you gotta have somebody that the people care about, or else they're gonna be like, it's like the Butcher and the Blade coming out. Oh, cool, man. Who are these guys?
Yeah.
That's what I worry about. Ali can wrestle. There's no doubt about it, but I don't know that he fits into that. What match was that in?
Which one?
Did they just show the hacker doing the Otis stuff again, or was it in another match?
I think so. Yeah,
it was just the Otis stuff.
Okay. No, I don't remember. It was something. I don't know if it was during Otis.
I think it was easy.
No, it was Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. Because I was so excited for this match. It's a Money in the Bank qualifier. It's two guys that can go. They're going to tear the house down, and I'm going to be talking about it on the Wrestling Council, how great it is. And before they even get started, they get cut off. The truth will set you free. They come back, commercial break, and before the match even gets started, they take a second commercial break. And before you know it, it's the yes lock and a tap, and we're done.
Yeah.
And Ted Segaro, I definitely agree with you. I've been watching Dark Side of the Ring, too.
Yeah.
It is really good. However, there has been some criticism, particularly because of the Superfly Snuka episode, that they edited a few things out that shouldn't have been. You know, like they didn't add certain things, and then they do the After Dark episodes.
Who's doing that? Is it Bruce and Conrad that are doing that?
No, it's what's the guy? Chris something. I can't remember his name. It's God, not hard. I can't remember his name. Jeez, someone in the chat help me. But I can't remember who's just like I saw JR was back on Dynamite after whatever. I don't know how long they're gonna keep that up because, like I said, he's cranky when they do a Zoom conference or whatever, and he's like, "We're doing it. There's a whole hour." He didn't want to be there and stuff, and so I was like, okay. So yeah, he took that little break last week, but they had him call the Moxley match. But from my understanding, they had pre-taped that over. He was over some kind of stream thing, and they just called it or whatever.
Chris Gethard.
Okay, so that's what is that? Okay, Chris Gethard, because they had the guy that was his father was it Sam Mushnick, Phil Mushnick? I'm trying to remember his last name Mushnick, but he's a reporter. He was one of the big guys that had this information.
Was that the TV guide guy?
Phil Mushnick, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but he had
like TV guide and stuff also.
He had that information about Superfly Snuka like 30 years ago, and nobody, they said Vince did what he did or whatever, and then obviously the Pennsylvania paper started digging into it, and then all of a sudden all his information that he had previously reported came back up, and so he's been covering this story for like 30 years. That Superfly Snuka one was crazy to me.
Oh man, especially when that new information from the Tonga Kid came out.
Yeah. Now some people are saying that they don't know if that's true or not, and I'm like, he said he was in the car. I don't know, but I mean, that never. The police interviewed Jimmy. That never came out.
Yeah, but that police chief, that guy couldn't be that whole shit if he was on a porta pot.
Ooh, yeah, he just looked like. I think he was defensive because he knows the power of television. So it's like, hey man, this shit happened 30 years ago or whatever. So obviously it looks like 35 or whatever. You're trying to make me look like I didn't do my job properly when I investigate. We investigated this case, everything was looked into, and then people are like, well, did you ask this person this? Did you know that this person said that they were there? So he was being very careful about what he said because he knows millions and millions of people are going to watch this and they're going to take clips and all this, even though he's retired or whatever. He was like, my people investigated it to the best of our ability.
Yeah. The best of our ability at the time.
Yeah. So all this kind of thing, talking about that they didn't have Jimmy take him to the place where she supposedly slipped. Now you're hearing Tony Atlas say that his girlfriend at the time actually was there when the fight between Jimmy and the woman happened, and she hit her head, and then Jimmy went off and wrestled. I mean, the whole thing. There's all kinds of information that is coming out. I mean, it's pretty clear that Jimmy Superfly Snuka
he killed her. Yeah,
I think whether he meant to or not.
Yeah, I'd say it was an accident, but
yeah.
Well, he was so coked up and everything, man. It's like he was out of his mind.
I met him.
I'm not going to give him a pass.
I met him one time at a Legend show. And it was right after the time that Mick Foley's Three Faces of Foley documentary came out, where he talked about jumping, like being there when Snuka jumped off the cage. All that stuff. So I walk up to the merch table to Jimmy Snuka, and I'm like, "Hey, brother, do you have the match anywhere here where Mick Foley was in the crowd?" He looked at me like I was a complete asshole, and he's like, "I don't even know who Mick Foley is, bro." And I was like, it was you and Morocco in the cage, and you jumped up. And so he sold it to me on VHS. I come home, he signed it. I've still got it. I should go get it out of my closet. Throw it in the VCR. The first thing that comes up on the screen is the Playboy Bunny logo. He had dubbed over the Playboy channel on a VHS tape with his matches, and that's what he sold.
Was there extra Playboy channel at the end?
No,
of the
it was
video?
like the Playboy logo and it was like the credits like leading into it, and then it like goes fuzzy screen, and then it comes back and it's matches.
I'd have been like, "Oh, this is way better than a snooker match."
I think I paid like $25 for that.
Make me big. I want to share and show and tell also.
Yeah, but that show, I'm really digging that show, man. This season, especially.
I have that book.
Oh, here we go.
I got that book. Did you get that for free?
No, I bought this when it first
I
came
placed
out.
an order with High Spots and got it for free.
So this, if you guys like this, this program that you're all looking at, you should check out Tributes if you can get your hands on this. It's like basically all the dead wrestlers, and it's got a lot of good pictures in it. And there was a part 2 also. So, you know, like Junkyard Dog's in one of these and all sorts of guys, depending on when they died.
Spicoli, damn, man.
Louis Spicoli, Madonna's boyfriend, right?
Yeah, but
that's what he was in AAA. He was called that.
Those that cover I saw that show on Bruiser Brody and what's his name? The Von Erichs, man. Those two were like, wow.
The Von Erichs, man, that is tragic. You could have a whole season on that.
Yeah,
wow,
that plane ride one.
Two-parter.
You could do some Flair stuff too.
Hey, let's transition while we're nowhere near talking about wrestling this week. Let's talk about fun stuff.
Yes.
Jim Cornette presents Behind the Curtain. Bob and I have it. Antonio,
I've ordered it.
You ordered it but don't have it yet?
No, because he hadn't shipped yet because of the swine flu, whatever.
I got this sweet print too. It's upstairs. I've got it. But I paid extra to get the print that he signed with.
Nice. I love Beautiful Bobby.
He's signing my book.
Let's see that big.
Yeah, the book's signed too.
That's so freaking cool.
Yeah, man.
Leave it on me. I want to show you this artwork, dude. The artwork is great, man. It's so cool, man. This book is great.
That's the best story in the whole freaking book right there.
Yeah. And for anybody that's like, what is this? What is it? It's real stories that took place in the wrestling business. So you have like Ric Flair being involved in the plane crash. You got some Junkyard Dog stuff. You got the Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler story.
So it's just anything wrestling, not just anything with Jim Cornette.
Oh no, dude! He's a wrestling historian. He's a wrestling historian. But this is what's great.
I figured it was just Jim Cornette stories.
This is what's great. This is what me and Bob are talking about, the Jerry Graham story. So he got a phone call that his mom was dying in the hospital. And his words to the doctor were, "You better save her or I'm coming to kill you." She died. He showed up with a pistol, shot at the doctor, punched a dude, threw his dead mother's body over his shoulder, and tried to escape the hospital with her body. And you might be saying, Jim Cornette's a liar. Jim Cornette's a liar. The best part is he includes the news articles that show that it's real life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great book. What'd you think, Bob?
Oh, dude, like there were details in this like I'd vaguely heard this story before, but getting the full details on it, like the fact that they think that he was struggling with mental illness for a long time. It was just like there were just so many details in it. It was like, God dang, man. And then the topper on that is the way his life ended. Like that dude is like a walking, talking cautionary tale. That dude is tragedy personified.
Well, the thing is, I've heard this book. Jim's talked about it a few times. It apparently, sold. It's done a couple of printings, the hardcover and the softcover, which is one I bought is softcover because hardcover was sold out on his website. He was of course signed. I know he did a Kickstarter for that as well. The book's obviously done very well, and he said that they've kind of discussed maybe doing a volume 2. He's not sure yet.
They should, man.
They should. It's cool, man.
I backed the Kickstarter, so I got the hardcover and, like I said, the autograph and some different stuff. But
I bought mine off of eBay.
I know we all have negative opinions about Aubrey Sitterson.
Yeah,
very negative, like especially me, like personal negative opinions. But he did a book about the history of professional wrestling graphic novel. Very well done. Very well done.
Yeah,
If there's one thing Aubrey knows, it's professional wrestling.
Oh,
yeah, I'll give him credit.
I thought you were talking about the referee.
No.
You'll knows my history with Aubrey Citizen.
Oh, Aubrey Shitterson, you mean?
He was my best. He was my best friend on earth until I backed your boy Zach, and then all of a sudden he turned heel on me, man. Real quick.
I thought you were talking about Aubrey Edwards.
No.
Second. We do all not like Aubrey Edwards, also, right?
She's the best referee in AEW. I hear people saying that, trying to put her over.
She's so in your face all the time.
She's better than Paul Turner.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but like she's just so over animated for a referee.
Junkyard Don, if you're, and I know you're a fan of professional wrestling. You're here every week. It's worth buying. It's worth buying.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I have my issues with Aubrey Citizen, but if somebody knows what they're talking about, they know what they're talking about. So, but getting back to that Cornette,
we should get him on the show.
Yeah. You want me to reach out to him?
Yeah, man.
Dude, he sent me a friend request on Facebook.
Time to stop being a bitch about things.
Everything. He unfriended me on Facebook. Like, the dude reached out to me when my mom died, but just turned heel on me because I backed Zach's book. It's like, what? That's
hilarious,
man.
He pulled a swerve on you.
It was but better than Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
The story that I was really surprised about, and it's something that I didn't know about, was the Tim Woods, the airplane story, that he was in the same crash with Ric Flair. Tim Woods, who was also Mr. Wrestling, like the dedication to kayfabe back in that time was so high that the dude's got busted up ribs. He's got internal injuries. But to protect the industry, this dude actually went and had a match all messed up like that. And like they were saying, like this thing was going to like it was going to kill professional wrestling.
The best thing was Mr. Wrestling giving his real name because he was feuding with somebody in the plane.
Yeah.
So he gave his real name and said, I'm a wrestling promoter. So they would never know who he was. And they talked about even the Sheik story, talked about at his funeral. They said his real name once, and the rest of the time they said the Sheik.
Yeah. And that's like just like you kind of get an insight into Cornette, why he feels like kayfabe is so important.
But
because
it's just a different time. Like
it is.
It's like telling you that Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Like you're not an idiot. Back then it made sense. Now it doesn't. So you got to change, Corny. You got to change. Anybody that wants to know what we're talking about, check this book out. It's worth every penny. Go buy it.
I can't wait till mine gets here. I'm looking forward to
I want to buy his Louisville books, man.
Yeah.
He is so intelligent when it comes to the wrestling business.
Yeah, and I also love the glossary in the back with all the terminology.
I didn't read that because I
that's a little.
I know it all. Yeah, how about Jim Cornette doing that when he's talking about kayfabe and then he's telling you what a shoot is, what smart enough is.
To be even telling me what cape. Oh,
well, let me.
Did you ever read the Andre the Giant one by any chance that Box Brown did?
No, I haven't seen that.
He talks about kayfabe.
That documentary that they did on Andre the Giant that was on HBO and it's on WWE Network now. Oh my God, it's so incredible. I love the Andre the Giant documentary.
There's so much stuff, man. I really like. I'm just like trying to catch all of it and watch all of it, but it's like it didn't take you forever. But we're just touching on that book one last time, though. Cornette does talk about a couple of things that he was a couple of stories about himself. But the only major one he talks about is the Montreal screw job.
Yeah. How about the original screw job?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Cool thing. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Well, they actually talk about it on the Dark Side of the Ring thing about the Montreal screw job. He talks about that.
That episode of Dark Side of the Ring was great, wasn't it? Yeah, that was an excellent episode.
That's my biggest sin in professional wrestling is I've not watched a single episode of that
yet. I don't think I will.
God.
Really? I want to.
Well,
I've not watched any of it. I don't even know what channel it's on.
It's on Vice.
I don't even know what channel.
Dude, you don't even have to go on Vice. You can go on YouTube right now and watch both seasons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Everybody's bootlegged it. It's up there, but
that's what I'll do.
I know Vice had put episode 1.
I've been busy, man. I've been busy.
Chris Benoit, man, but the Chris Benoit 2-parter was incredible.
You know what though? If you're gonna watch that Chris Benoit 2-parter though, it's another a good idea would be to listen to Cornette's interview with Sullivan after, because a lot of people are disputing a lot of the stuff.
You know what? They really make Sullivan look to be the bad guy. Watch every freaking flying headbutt he through. Okay.
Well, the fact that
I want you to see every time he took a bump first. If you're gonna just watch that only,
well,
it's very upsetting to me. Actually, I'm triggered now. I earned to know about Chris Benoit.
What is happening? What is happening?
F these noobs coming in and just vicing it up. Oh, look at wrestling freaks and look at what they do. This guy killed himself for you. I mean, literally killed himself for you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. I mean,
I mean, come on.
How many people have wrestled
around about?
How many people have wrestled professionally and not killed their spouse and kids and?
Hey, I'm not at all. In no way am I saying that it's a cool thing that he did that or any way. I'm not celebrating the fact that happened. What I'm saying is this is celebrating that fact.
They're monetizing it. They're monetizing it, is what.
I don't like it at all. I'm very upset. F Vice.
Did you watch it though?
You say that with
hang on a minute.
Wait.
Way back when, and anybody that liked it was a fucking asshole. That's what it is. Fucking asshole.
The best thing about it is Yule smirks as he's saying it. I can't tell if this is real or not.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious, man. I earned the Benoit story. You guys earned the Benoit story. Somebody coming in and not watching wrestling. Nobody watches wrestling anymore. I mean, come on, seriously. Look at the numbers. Nobody watches wrestling like they used to.
Nobody
watches believes in it or cares
nobody
about
watches
it.
Nobody
it's always that
anything.
asshole in the green shirt in the front row, and he probably likes it more than other people. There's my
that's the
promo.
clip. No, that's the clip, is what that was.
That's my promo, baby.
Yeah, that is the clip. Did you watch it though, Yul?
No, I can't do it.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. They actually did a much better job of it than I thought they were going to. They did not sugarcoat anything. And the truth of the matter is the guy. I think they kind of realized what you were saying. Like somebody who wasn't there and didn't live it, narrating this thing would be like a lot of people would have the same reaction you did. They got Jericho to come in and do this thing. And the two people that were pretty much responsible for the entire show, like obviously there was a guy directing the episode, but he went out to them and said, I want to hear this from you guys. So he went to Chavo, he went to Vicky, he went to Chris, he went to Malenko, he went to the people that actually lived it and talked about it through their eyes and their voice. Nancy's sister.
Yeah.
The only person they didn't talk to, and this is where
apparently the lying cunt, but either way.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's why I say, like, to be completely fair and honest with this thing, you need to listen to Cornette talking to Kevin Sullivan. Because that's the thing that they should have done. They should have talked to Kevin Sullivan, and they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like,
sorry, I took over there.
No, that's cool, man.
Jim Cornette, Kevin Sullivan, I've listened to it like 4 times. It was incredible. I thought the fact that they never mentioned that Nancy actually stabbed Kevin Sullivan.
Yes.
And then he had to bail her out of jail. And then he had to talk to the court to get her off of her charges and stuff. Oh man, it was a misunderstanding. She doesn't have any prior offenses, blah, blah, blah. All this kind of stuff. There's stories about Kevin hitting her when they weren't even together at that time, and all this. There were things that contradicted, and that point was never mentioned. Like I said, I had no idea, and apparently this was reported after the murder happened that Nancy had actually stabbed Kevin Sullivan. People are saying that there's weirdos on social media saying Kevin Sullivan had them murdered as part of some kind of blood sacrifice ritual. And all this, they even talk about all this kind of stuff.
And Nicole Simpson too. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. Weird, man, and they don't understand that Kevin Sullivan's not really the
Prince of Darkness. Yeah.
What was his character?
That's the thing that
Taskmaster.
A lot of people are just like, they think, oh well, he's he does this dark this demonic Satanist type character. Like the dude's a friggin' Baptist. It's like
his character was so great, man. Always.
But I would say if you can't, and then don't get me wrong, it was hard to watch. Those 2 episodes in particular were really hard to watch. especially if like you said, you lived it, because Benoit was one of my favorite guys, man. I love that dude from day one, all the way back to when he was the Pegasus Kid back in New Japan.
Hey, have you ever? Dude, we're just rambling because that's wrestling.
Sorry, guys. I actually have a couple things.
No. I wanted to ask Bob a question. Have you ever read Dynamite Kid's book?
I haven't. Like I said, there's a lot of books that I'm behind. I need to catch up on.
You gotta read it. That's one of the best wrestling biographies ever. Talks about him taking horse steroids and
I've heard about it and some of the stories from it, and it's like, holy shit, dude.
It's a good one. I mean, Benoit is Dynamite Kid 2.0.
Dude. He modeled himself after him. We love that guy. Dynamite Kid, man. Dynamite Kid was like very much cut from that same cloth. Like he was that dude that and that's one of the reasons why Benoit would always take chair shots to the back of the head, which they're like, no, dude, you don't do that. He did it because there was that section of guys kind of like me forward. Like that was a bad honor, that you do that, and that you would take, you would take color, and that's one of the reasons why he did the diving headbutt, as his finishing move. And years before he started to show this deterioration, people were telling him, like, dude, you got to lay off of this stuff. People were worried about him for a long time, and that's one of the things that they talk about is that when Eddie died, like it destroyed Chris, because Eddie was like, because of his deteriorating mental faculties, Eddie was like his moral barometer. Like he looked to Eddie for everything. Like Eddie was literally like, and Eddie was a very religious guy, and he would preach to Chris. And when Eddie died, it's like Chris just literally had no rudder. And that's not to, and like Chris Jericho says in the show, he's like, if you think I'm here to defend a murderer, stop watching now, because that's not what I'm doing. But I'm telling you, like, who this person was and then who he became.
And he's been effectively blotted out in wrestling history for the most part. I mean, there's that edgy kid out there that likes to say Chris Benoit's name and stuff like that, but they're not that many. Only the best Royal Rumble ever.
I separate the two. I can easily separate the two. Man.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I think a lot, like especially the newer people, like Yul said, they can't do that because they didn't live through it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of those things. I don't know. Anyway,
but check out that Cornette book, man. It's freaking awesome. I really hope he does a second one.
Where are we? What are we on? We on Raw now? Where are we, Antonio?
We're on the Raw, and let's talk about Raw.
The Zelina Vega show.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at it.
She had white pants on and high heels.
No, it was a skirt.
It was a skirt.
Oh, it was a skirt. This
a very nice skirt.
Remember. Whatever.
Just say it. Not that I was paying attention to that.
I got one thing to say about Raw. The Street Profits need to shut up.
Dude, they're gonna kill that
Bianca Belair is in the ring.
Worse than Asuka.
They're bringing her down.
Worse than Asuka.
Yeah, so she was married to the one in the Street.
Montez, you're killing your wife's heat. Stop it. The crowd can't stand it.
Terrible.
Yeah, I actually liked Zelina on commentary, and I love some of the one-liners she threw out
about being on top. I like that one too.
Yeah, that was freaking. That was funny. And I do like, and somebody brought it up. I can't remember who it was, but
look at this
guy. But they said that they kind of like how they're building that faction that they've got. Because as they're being used multiple times through the show, they're kind of building it up, kind of the same way in AEW that they're building up the whole Jimmy Havoc and Chris Sabian team up.
I don't like that team up, and I don't like this team up. They're only teaming up because of the pandemic. I want Zelina Vega and Andrade, nobody else.
No,
and that faction in AEW makes no sense to me.
It's getting ratings though. That's the problem. I don't particularly care for it myself either. I agree with you.
What were AEW's ratings this week? That's not getting.
They're saying according to them, they're saying that, and during those points when those were there, that they're getting a.
You know why?
I don't know if that's the case though.
You know why? Why is that? Why is that, Bob?
Because of hot women.
You put Penelope out there in those little tiny leather shorts. I have
was-
no clue why
God dang,
people
she was
are
hot,
tubing.
man.
No clue what. And
I like that move when she is kissing her boyfriend while the other woman is involved in that like situation. That was cool. She was like holding her on the rope, and then she goes in to kiss her boyfriend or her husband to be.
Brian Caraway's right. It's a collection.
And it's like dirt.
Who's available?
I liked it.
It's all about who's available. That's the problem. They're doing the best they can.
And Raw again. It's just all the minorities and Europeans, basically.
Oh no, because Shayna Baszler was on there.
Oh, wait a minute.
Shayna Baszler was on there. Aleister Black
too.
was there with Austin Theory.
I did like Zelina Vega doing commentary while Aleister Black wrestled. And they have a YouTube channel, by the way. Antonio, I know you love reality shows as much as I do. You should subscribe to their YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's called A to Z. It's called A to Z, Aleister to Zelina.
Well, let me ask this, because this was something since we didn't talk about from the SmackDown thing. I want to go back. Are we concerned that the word is getting out that Vince has instructed everyone not to mention Roman Reigns' name on the air?
I don't think so. I think he's still Vince's boy, but I do think that they're kind of trying to they're a little salty about it, because he was kind of like the first one to do this thing where he was like, "Hey, I ain't coming in," and then a bunch of other talent basically went, "Oh, well, we're not coming in either." I think they're a little salty about it, but I think that they still think that I think he's still Vince's boy.
Well, the reason I'm concerned about it is, especially after, obviously he didn't make the WrestleMania taping, but I listened to Jim Ross's audiobook for Under the Black Hat, and he talked about all the shit that Vince did to him when he decided. JR decided he didn't want to live in Connecticut anymore, and he moved to Oklahoma because they demoted him, and they gave his job to Johnny Ace. And Johnny Ace,
look at Vince's arms, they're huge.
He took over, and he was like, "Well, they gave my office at the Titan Tower and everything." And he was just like, "Why am I coming here?" He said, "I can do my job from Oklahoma." And so he told Vince he was going to go back to Oklahoma, and Vince was upset about it. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff they knew JR didn't like to get in the ring and take bumps and do bleeding. So they started having him do more of that stuff and do things to humiliate him on the air. And he was just like, and then he'd get fired again. He got fired on the air, and it was just like he got kicked in the nuts by Linda McMahon.
That was a good one.
Oh yeah, I mean Vince is an asshole. He'll embarrass anybody to get a chuckle or to get over on him. I mean it is what
or to bury them if they're leaving or if they're leaving.
Well, that you should do that though.
Well, you know what?
And that's the talent should do that. You do the favor on the way out the door.
Vicky Guerrero actually at least got to throw Stephanie McMahon in mud as she took the mud shot also. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
How was JR's book, Antonio? Was it good?
It was fantastic. I've listened to it. I put it on while I'm packing comic books, and it's a 10 hours and like 38 minutes on audiobook, and I can get through. So I'll sit down and I'll just put it on and I'll just pack comics and listen to him tell a story to get through the whole thing. Starts at I think WrestleMania 15, Rock and Stone Cold. He's going there, and then it ends. He tells the story about him getting fired after they did the WWE, 17 video game conference, and Ric Flair was there, and Ric Flair was drunk after his son.
Oh, yeah.
His son had died, and he had gotten intoxicated, and JR said, "Yeah, I drank half a drink," and everybody was saying I was drunk because of the Bell's palsy and his word slurring and stuff. Vince asked him, was he drunk? He was like, "No, I wasn't drunk." So he said even when WWE put the statement out, he didn't bury him that way and say that he was drunk. He just said that Jim was retiring. There's things there where he's critical of Vince. He tells the Vince doesn't like when people sneeze stuff in the book, all that kind of thing.
Wow, that's hilarious.
I thought, but the stuff, he tells the very heartbreaking story of when his wife died in that crash with the 17-year-old kid hitting her and all that kind of stuff. That the whole thing, and then talked about it, closed it out, signing with AEW and everything, and 5 out of 5 or whatever. It's
awesome.
incredible. I'm actually getting Slobber Knocker. I'm going to get Slobber Knocker and listen to that one.
Sooner.
Have you read, talking about wrestling books, Chris Jericho's first book, Mick Foley's first book, must reads?
Mick Foley's
I've
book
read
is
Mick's.
incredible.
Have you read Jericho's first book?
No.
Oh my God, it may be better than Mick Foley's. One of the best. You gotta read it. You gotta read it. And he talks about coming through Knoxville and wrestling for Smoky Mountain with Jim Cornette, which Smoky Mountain, special place in my heart, dude. That's what I grew up on, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, East Tennessee boy.
Yeah, and some of those stories, man, like the drive-through, man. That's one of the best stories ever.
When we played that clip a couple weeks ago, that was great, man.
A couple weeks ago.
I want to play the clip that I shared today, but I'm afraid we'll get demonetized of the slap.
We were just talking about
the slap.
Man. With everything that's going on right now, man, I wouldn't do it because they're flag crazy right now.
Get us back on track. Is there anything else on Raw worth talking about?
The big controversial story of the week, which is Nia versus Kairi Sane.
Why is that controversial?
That's not controversial.
It's only controversial.
Controversies on NXT.
No,
he's in love with her.
She's getting dragged like crazy over that because she
had a bot.
Nia.
I saw that.
Nia sucks. Everybody's got to get used to that.
Well, she was making that. She was talking that shit about Ronda Rousey.
Oh, good on Nia. That's right.
About being unsafe, and then Nia, who has a history of working unsafe.
I'm with you.
And Kairi coming
off.
Wait
a second. What?
Get him, Yul. Go, Yul. Tell him.
I thought it was just about Nia saying that Ronda Rousey was being a bitch.
No,
it was about Ronda.
Oh, Ronda. Nia's such a sloppy wrestler.
Yeah,
She's almost killed like 3 women or something.
Yeah. Dude, there was somebody actually printed a list of everybody that has been seriously injured in matches with Nia, and it's like 12 names long.
I want to see Nia versus Nyla, and they would both have a heart attack at the end.
But what happened is, literally less than a week after she was dragging Ronda about supposedly hurting Lexi Kaufman, aka Alexa Bliss.
Wow, look at Bob down here just dropping names. Let me pick that up.
But
you dropped it, Bob. There you go.
There you go, man.
Right. Well, what do you want me to? Hey, I'm just being.
You could probably call her Alexa Bliss.
But
did you guys see that interview with Paul Levesque? It was great, man. It was really good.
Yeah.
But she goes to do a basically a buckle bomb, and you can hear Kairi saying that she's not set, and Nyla just doesn't, and she throws her, and she's too far away, and
not ready.
Kairi, bam, hits her head on the back turnbuckle, and
I do not care about any of this.
But hey, dude, man, if somebody's talking bullshit shit about being unsafe, and then you've got a history of being unsafe, you're gonna get dragged. So
you're not safe, and so I have to call you out on your shoddy work. Your in-ring work needs some improvement.
Well, what let me tell you, man, I'm a
he
draw.
Works safe though. I mean, that's the thing. He's just a sloppy wrestler, is all. It's like his clotheslines don't connect.
Oh, we gotta talk about that.
He does 5 knuckle shuffles like Cena. He does an elbow drop on the head like Flair. He doesn't.
Would you rather have that though, where you're saying she's a little too stiff, or would you rather be Steve Austin having to tell you go ahead and snug it up a little bit, pal?
Well, I think
telling Cena to snug up that STF.
All right, so I've had this conversation a lot. Cena is a wrestler for all ages, right? He's a PG-13 wrestler.
Yeah.
So for him to slap one on like a killer like Benoit, you don't really want to do that, As far as the women, I think it's time to there's some people that have to step it up, and I don't know, at least on the mic, at least, get their personality across, at least, be able to, I don't know, look like you could take on, Shayna Baszler.
Bob's catching up. I'm way ahead, Bob.
Yeah.
Way ahead.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Skull.
Mine's in a hidden cup.
I don't know. I just wish there would be some. I don't know. It's probably like the sign of the times right now. Also, you're not performing in front of a crowd. It's very difficult to get like really ramped up when you don't, when you're not juicing on the emotion of a crowd.
Well, and it's across the board. Like wrestling right now is so weird. You've got nothing but enhancement talent, jobbers, whatever you want to call them, local people. It's the same in AEW. Everybody's from Atlanta, Georgia. That's on the card because certain people can't travel. When was the last time the Young Bucks were on TV, other than BTE 200? And how many people watched that, Bob?
I don't know, two including me.
No, they had good ratings on that.
Oh
video.
no, they get tons of views on BTE. But how does that translate to your TV viewers?
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Can
we move on? Is there anything else on Raw worth talking about? I thought Raw sucked.
Maybe Mysterio versus Murphy, but even that was just like.
I like that match. I actually like that match.
And we had Drew McIntyre versus Andrade again, right? Wasn't that what happened?
Don't care.
Yeah, but that's pretty much the feeling I had through the entire show. Was it wasn't particularly terrible, but it's just like, I don't care about any of this.
I actually did like the Rey Mysterio match. I like the Rey Mysterio match.
From a technical standpoint, I thought it was great. Yeah. But again, it's just like, why are they even wrestling? There's no storyline there. It's just like, all right, we got to fill some time.
Everything was Money in the Bank qualifiers. That was it. Yeah. And speaking of, is it really going to be in WWE headquarters?
And they got
supposedly.
That's going to be the worst thing of all time.
They got to fight their way up to the top of the building.
And all these people are talking about like, this is such a great idea. I'm like, dude, this is like Game of Death WWE style.
I'm down. All right, you made it sound good.
Yo, my gosh,
is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar going to be in this one too?
Hey, Junkyard Dunn. If you are an AEW fan, I would recommend going and watching Being the Elite. They do a lot of things that play into the storylines, but it doesn't really you don't have to watch it, but it's a lot of fun.
And there's a lot of humor in it too, man. I love especially like the last three or four episodes have been great. Because they had Hardy on there doing the rules to a squash match, and then you get the announcer and they're watching coming to the ring. There's a couple losers who are going to get completely crushed.
There have been people that suggested that maybe the women and the men will fight at the same time for the Money in the Bank.
Are they actually going to try to do it live?
Dude, it's already been done.
I was like, okay, I had heard they were building stuff the other week. And
the question is it going to be on film? I mean, is it going to be film or like videotape or whatever?
You're smarting you guys up. Vince will lie to you and tell you something's live when it's not.
Yeah. No. I guarantee you there's going to be stuff that they're going to be filming and recording.
All those years SmackDown weren't live.
So I don't think I think it's not going to be live when we watch it on WWE Network. It's not going to be live. So.
No. Are we gonna go into AEW? Because
wait. Actually,
I was about to do a bunch of homework. I did a bunch of homework.
Ask the question.
All right, Boogie. This is really to you.
Oh boy!
How often should a shoot work be executed in wrestling?
As much as possible.
Really?
There is nothing better than a storyline that's got a little bit of truth sprinkled into it.
Yeah, but when it's something like a person being fired and then them wrestling,
let me tell you something.
And then they using that Instagram.
Are you going straight to NXT?
I have to ask you about Drake Maverick. Yeah.
If Drake Maverick wins the Cruiserweight title, it'll be the best thing WWE's booked all year. It'll be amazing.
If he doesn't, and he's still fired at the end,
it's pretty cruel. It's pretty cruel.
Yeah,
it's all pretty cruel. And if it's not, then this never was a shoot to begin with. It was just a work, right?
Yeah, if he wins, it's just a work. Like they're working all of us, right?
Well, then, how do you feel about that?
It's great. If you can trick me, it's great. I love it. Like I was watching upstairs and I'm trying to explain it to my wife and I'm like, oh my gosh, can you believe they're showing this video? They are showing the video that I retweeted and talked about how heartfelt it was. And I'm like going off the deep end and she went, so what happens when he wins the belt? And I'm like, it'll be amazing. It'll be the best thing.
Well, I want you to know that Jilby Pill thought those were crocodile tears all the way back when it first came out.
She thought it was a work.
She thought it was work. Yeah.
So did everybody not get fired, or was it just some of them that got fired or work?
I thought
All
it was hard.
saying
I
is
thought it
this:
was hard.
now is the time you have to say whether it's a work or not.
No, bro.
Or
No,
else,
I disagree.
If you're trying to
pull the curtain.
I mean,
No, pull the curtain over all of our eyes, bro. If you can work everybody in today's time, you're talking about Jim Cornette and kayfabe and all this crap.
Yeah.
Work everybody.
What I'm saying is, if you're a kind of person that's trying to guess the truth right now, you got to come out right the second and say it. There is no more time.
Trying to figure it out is part of the fun.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give it to you after the time we actually know. I mean, you have to.
But we don't know. We don't
place your bets now, is what I'm saying.
That's the best part.
Place your bets.
That's the best part.
We got 5 minutes, guys.
The best part is he lost the first match, so it's going to keep going. Like, what's going to happen next week? I just wanted to say I took one for the team, and I was going to watch Ring of Honor. It's all taped. None of it matters. And I fast forwarded through a whole lot of Impact Wrestling, including 60-year-old Ken Shamrock. Juice to the gills, looks like a brick shithouse with just wrinkly skin. Watching all of that, and this was their rebellion. I don't know if that's a pay-per-view or what. It's a 2-night spectacular this week. Next week,
against watching it.
The only thing good on the entire show was Kiera Hogan versus Kylie Ray. Great match. I love Kylie Ray, and I hate that she's not in AEW, and that's all I want to say about it. So we can move on to AEW.
All right, we're on AEW now. Okay. So, show was okay. I mean,
yep,
it was all right. It had matches that meant something.
Darby versus
Jill's
Guevara
pissed.
was okay.
Jill's pissed in the chat.
Whatever. That's pissed.
I feel sorry for you, Yul. No, you should work everybody. Work us all.
I agree, man.
I'm so glad me and Bob are on the same page. And
she's not that into it. She's just saying it was kind of BS.
The best stuff that has come out in the last year has always been those half shoots, man.
Then she should be praising herself because millions of people on social media bought into it and thought it was real, including I told you guys, I was like, dude, this just got real to me. Like, I've hated on all these people, and this dude is losing his job, and I care. I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. So if that's bullshit, and then you see Shane Helms tweeting out, him singing to his son and all this kind of stuff. This stuff's like, hey, you guys, don't feel better. Don't feel bad for me. Here's something to make you smile. And he's singing to his little boy and all this, did a little stuff like that. I was like, if that shit is not real. Although hey, that's what wrestlers are supposed to do. They're supposed to fool us. And
and that's what we need when we sit here and tell you what's going to happen weeks in advance. I love being fooled. I love
investment is everything.
AEW
was not Dynamite. It was not Dynamite.
It was okay. It was okay.
How about the Allen Angels guy kicking out of the V trigger? That got some heat.
Yeah,
some people were pissed saying that Kenny Omega.
Is he dating him? I don't know.
Dating all of
Antonio.
Why
do you want Kenny Omega to be gay so bad?
Did you not see him? He's admitted that he's like bi-curious.
He's bisexual.
Yeah,
there's a guy on NXT.
What does that have to do with Allen?
The guy that beat.
I was trying to be funny, but yeah.
Sorry, the guy that beat Drake Maverick is gay. And they talk about the fact that he has, a past, so to speak, that, he's trying to overcome. And they don't say what it is. And it's like very mysterious. And I was like listening to somebody talking about it. And it's like, that is the guy you should be making like a story, not Drake Maverick. Like this other guy has a past, that, and WWE didn't fire him on top of it,
Yeah.
It's like, it's baffling. I'm sorry to go back to that.
The storyline is Drake getting fired, but he is up against. It's just like going back to Ring of Honor when Jim Cornette banned Steen, and he's coming through the crowd and doing all this stuff. It's like, Joel.
Drake Maverick?
Sometimes I think that you just disagree with me just for the sake of the show.
Is Drake Maverick any better?
All that energy on?
Is he any worse than Marco Stunt?
You know what I think happened? I think he cut the legit.
Marco Stunt is not getting a Drake Maverick push.
I think he cut a legit.
He's fighting Brody Lee.
I think they fired him. He cut this promo,
and they were like, "Holy crap!"
And we're like, "Oh, dude, we got to run with this. People are behind him."
Let him be the next Spike Dudley dude, the guy that just goes completely all out crazy and just tries to win every match as brutal as possible.
I thought Jimmy Havoc and Orange Cassidy was great.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Orange Cassidy won.
Yeah,
fresh squeeze, brother.
Okay, before this things ends, we got to talk about the tournament. Is it going to be Cody versus the Murder Hawk, or is it going to be Cody versus Dustin?
Ooh, they threw a swerve at us.
Yeah,
but you know what? I think they missed the boat. I think that Dustin could have come out ahead of time, cut a huge promo saying, "If I don't win this tournament, I'm retiring." Not this match, because nobody cared about last night. If he didn't win, he was retiring. That was bullcrap. Right. We all knew he was going to win. He should have came out ahead of time and said, "If I don't win this tournament, I'm done." And then it's a round by round thing. And I'm with you, Bob. I don't know. I thought it was going to obviously be the Murder Hawk versus Cody, but now I'm like, Dustin versus Cody in the finals. If Dustin doesn't win, he retires.
They already did that at the pay-per-view.
No, but this is different though, because if he loses here, it's over. Yeah. It's like
I'm with you, Bob. I'm
his brother taking
it's the Boogie and Bob connection. I'm with you this week, Bob.
I think it would bury a Lance to have him lose to Dustin.
Unless you have him being like, I'm gonna break, and like he kind of loses control and he does something to get disqualified. Like
Darby Allin and Cody's record against each other.
And then you're like, oh my God, Dustin's going to go into this thing all messed up. And now Cody's even more conflicted because he's like, do I really want this so bad that I'm going to take
it? Could be that Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair moment.
Yes.
Super kick in the corner. I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah, boom.
That's one of the greatest matches of all time.
He blew him right there in the middle of the ring.
I wish they would have established this ahead of time. It would have been way better.
Yeah.
They waited a week too long, 2 weeks too long.
Darby versus Archer. See, that's the
that's what I'm saying. That would be a match also.
That ain't happening.
So what is Darby versus Cody's record? Do you know by any chance? Are they like 1-0-1 or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. So.
Like Darby hasn't had a victory against Cody, right?
No.
But they've been close.
The victory was the draw.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
But, man, I'm going to tell you what.
Cody. Cody's going to the finals.
Period. I mean, small guy versus big guy.
Cody's winning this thing.
Match.
Cody's going to the finals.
So Cody's jobbing or he's going over Lance?
I don't know. I do not know.
I think he's going over. I think he needs to go over. I think
if it's Dustin, Cody wins. If it's Archer, I think Archer wins.
I think Cody has to win this thing. I think he has to get the belt. I think it's at the point now where the Elite have pushed
faces with belts like that.
The thing is, though, the everybody wants
tag champs.
They want the Elite. Well, dude, you know that the Hangman and my brain doesn't. Omega are dropping those belts,
but to other faces, right?
True, but still, people have been complaining that they want to see the Elite on top here, man. And they've for the last year, for the first year, they put everybody over. And now they're going to give the fans what they really want. They're going to put these guys on top.
All right. Cody's got to stop announcing, by the way.
I definitely don't need to see that ever.
Jericho is awesome, though. He's
funny. I like him.
Yeah. Tell him, Ski Vaughn.
Ski Boney.
Got to give the people what they want.
Yes.
Take us home, man. Can I do a plug before we take it home?
Please. Do I need to put it on you?
No. You don't have to put it on me. I just want to give a shout out. Somebody picked up a T-shirt at Collar and Elbow Brand this week. You can go to collarandelbowbrand.com. They got some dope shirts, especially any of you good brothers out there. There's a Brother Me Softly T-shirt out there, which is amazing. Big LG's selling it. But go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use the promo code COMETCAST at checkout, and you will save 10% and throw a little kiss ash our way, and we would appreciate it. So check that out, collarandelbowbrand.com. Promo code COMETCAST.
Yeah, well, with that being said, we will pick this conversation up at the same damn time next week.
Gracious.
We're going to be on the SNB network, Mr. Boogie Bentley's channel. You can check that on my channel, on my favorite channels link there on the page there. And we will be back, of course, for Boogie Bentley, Comic Book Bob, Yul Carter, and of course, I am the man with the plan, Antonio Bryce. This has been the Wrestling Council. Avita Sane and adieu.
Good night.